Die4 Radio, Mad Phour, the Mad Phour Report. We back, you know what I'm saying? That was Code 187 with Foot to Your Ass from the Great White Hype mixtape from my dude, the Captain Dialansky, you know what I'm saying? That was on there. So y'all can go download that shit for free at www.die4production.com, or you can go to Dat Piff and get it. So come on, man, get with this shit. But anyway, we got the man of the hour, my motherfucking OG big homie, Cole 187. What it do, family?
What up, Phour? What's going on with you, man? You know how we do it. The Black Godfather's in the building. What's good?
Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Hey, but before we get started, I want to say thank you for making the time to finally get the chance to interview you on a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, no doubt.
We have done interviews before, but I never got to do you as a one-on-one. You know what I mean? To get to ask questions and shit.
Yeah.
So this is dope. So I want to say thanks again.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's all good. It's all love, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. So what was it going on, man? We know that the Black Godfather that came out last year, without a doubt, is in the top 10 in my opinion. I don't know what these other motherfuckers. Top 10 album of the year last year.
Okay.
It's the dope-ass album, man. Now,
well, thank
before we
you,
get into the album, can you let the fans know where they can go cop it?
Oh, actually, they can go copy it. You can go iTunes, you can go Amazon Music, but you also can order the physical CDs as a double CD off my site, code187.com. So that's where you can get it. It's a soundtrack to the movie The Black Godfather. So, movie should be coming out, this year, summer. So we shooting the film now. We're finishing up the film now. But, yeah, that's where you can get it at right now. And then we're going to do a box set when the actual film comes out so you can get that and the movie together. So.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, man. That's what I'm waiting for now is the movie. Now, are there any surprises that we're going to catch in the movie? Like I don't want to be spoiler because I'm interested, but what can we be expecting from this film?
Well, the movie is actually it's going to be it's either going to be like let's let people know it's going to be like to Netflix. It's either going to be the movie or a movie series, but it's an ongoing story that I wrote and produced and direct. I'm starring in it, so it's kind of like my acting debut, and it's a pretty solid film that I'm doing. It's a film that I wrote, so it's not. It's a stretch for me as a producer, as a writer, that I'm branching off into doing film. So that's probably the biggest kicker you'll see. And I play this character called Cornelius Blackwell, and he runs a legitimate business, but he also is tied into the Black Mafia. So, yeah.
Damn, well, that's something that I'm going to be looking forward to, so you know what I'm saying? So, damn, that's tough.
Yeah, it's real gangster. Now, it's a West Coast film. We wanted to shoot a film here, that based upon coming up in the West Coast from a grimy, wealthy aspect. Like his character is really, he's like two extremes. He's like, on one note, he's the grimiest street guy you could ever meet, and then he's a businessman, like a corporate businessman. So it's kind of like it's like a alter ego type thing, and he has, So
that's what's up, because you know what, that's one thing that we're missing out here as far as as a West Coast standpoint. Is movies like that, you know what I mean? Remember we used to get a lot of those in the 90s and stuff like that. It's kind of died down, so I'm glad that you're bringing that type of shit back, man.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's my film debut, so I hope everybody enjoys it. But my whole point is to kind of like put things back in this marketplace. Being an OG in the game, I think it's time to like someone to step up and do that. Just put more things back in our marketplace. A lot of great things come from other regions and all that. No disrespect, but what I was built up off of, coming up with Ruthless and being in above the law and all that whole movement, it came from how we looked at it from this perspective. It didn't come from us being influenced by other places. It just, of course we were influenced by hip hop, but it just came from us just wanting to do us and wanting to tell our story,
Yes. Yep, no doubt. Now, was it challenging writing this movie?
Yeah, I mean, it was because I had to create a character that was me, that wasn't me, but that I kind of saw my persona being in it, because I wrote it from that perspective. I kind of got the ideal from when Pac was gonna do a series of films, that he acted in and that were his albums. So when me and Laylaw got together and we're doing The Black Godfather, I had already laid out the idea to do the movie already, and then he said, let's put the soundtrack component to it. So, when I was, so with the movie, I kind of already had the vision, and then as I started laying it out, then it just starts morphing into something really, really huge. So it wasn't really hard. It was more organic than anything. I think it was just like, coming from being a writer, it wasn't really that hard for me, It was just like I had a vision, I had an ideal of what I wanted to write, and just like if I write a record, it came the same way. I just had to put it in the form of a script,
Yep. Hey, but that's a beautiful thing, man, and I'm glad to see an artist as a caliber and iconic, especially to a person like myself. I'm just glad to see you still working and going out there, you know what I mean? And to show people that you went nowhere, and that's what I love about artists like yourself, and that's why I respect artists like yourself, and that's why I always will support artists like yourself. And I enjoy it. So everybody listening, please go cop the album. It's worth the $15 or $20, whatever. Go cop the album. Go cop all Above the Law records if you could get them, physical copies or digital.
In case
support my man for 187.
Yeah, in case a lot of people don't know who's on the record. I mean, everybody is who's on the record from the West Coast, from Snoop to Cube to DOC to Too Short to E40, Cocaine. The list goes on. I mean, Sugar Free, AMG, the Dog Pounds on it, Jail Felony, Exhibits on it. I mean, the list goes on. We even have Southern Cats, Ice-T's on it. Gibb from the Goody Mob, CeeLo Green's on it. It's a lot of great artists that I wanted to work with, and I have worked with some of them through the years, but I always wanted to do a record with them, and I was fortunate to be able to do it on this soundtrack. So it's an incredible piece of art, if you want it, and it's entertaining as well. It's not just like, some things are just, oh yeah, well it's for this. It's a lot of great records on there. Like we really, really labored in there. We really, no one just kind of mailed verses in. Everybody really brought their A game, So it was an incredible time I had. It took me 9 months to record the album. A lot of great producers on there. Di Lansky, S-Class, me, myself, Laylaw. A bunch of great people that were involved in the album and making it happen.
Yeah, and what I love about this album is this is like one of the first albums that I've seen a lineup like that, like, you see West Coast albums and they have features on it, but when I saw the features on it, that's epic with the people that you had, that, and that's pretty hard for a lot of people to get together an album like that, man. So kudos to you for that, man, for pulling that off, because that's a dope list as well. So people, man, please, I'm gonna tell you again, go support and buy the album. And get ready for the movie, and just
there you
whatever
go.
my man Code 187 does, follow, please.
That's right. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, Phour. I appreciate that. I know you follow me. The whole Die4 crew has had my back all the way through the whole thing, so it's been incredible.
Oh yeah, this I've been like I always tell people. See, but I always had your back to support you since I was a teenager, so it goes way before Die4.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always bought the records, and I always appreciate your style and production and swag and everything. You know what I mean? So there's nothing new to me, my friend.
Thank you.
Yes. No problem, no problem. Now, I want to talk about a few albums that you did.
Okay.
The Only Solution. How did you hook up with the Insane Clown Posse? You know what I mean?
Well,
I never got to ask that question around.
Yeah, I toured with them. I toured with them on American Psycho tour, like maybe about 4 years ago. And on the tour, me and Jay, we always were talking because they done murder rap. They covered murder rap, so I always kind of kept tabs on them, and they would always hit me up and be like, "Hey, man, if we ever could, do something with you guys, let's do it." And I was like, well, no problem. And at the time, I had just put out Only God Can Judge Me, and I was looking to get on a tour, and Jay had reached out to me and was like, well, shoot, you just dropped something. You want to go out on this American Psycho tour with us? So I went out on that tour with them. It was about a 2-month tour, and on that tour, me and him came in with an idea to do a comic book, of a character called a psychopathic assassin, which would be me. And it's a storytelling album that track 1 to 15 tells one whole story, and then we put a comic book in with it and all of that. So it was more like a novelty thing that I'd done with them, which was very creative. One of the most creative pieces of work that I'd done. It was a mixtape style because I took all their records and I made one story to all of their beats, like a mixtape, And it was a story about a guy, a boy that was a kid who grew up to become an assassin, and it tells you the story of his whole life all the way up to him making his last hit, from 1 to 15. So yeah, it was kind of like more of a creative art thing that me and him wanted to do, And it was a fun ride, and we toured off of it, and we had a good time. So I love those guys. Those guys are very wealthy and very successful and very, very sharp. You know what I mean? Very creative.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy because how did the Juggalo fan base? Because they got that big fan base. How did you feel like they accepted you in or?
Oh yeah, it was great. No, it was great. It was great. A lot of times it was because the thing about that whole culture, that culture loves like hip hop. There's one thing about it. They're into the hardcore rap like the all the psychopathic stuff and the strange music stuff, but they really know hip hop. They really know who are the guys who really who blaze the trails. They know the people who laid the land, who paved the roads, for hip hop itself. So, I have big respect in the Juggalo community, definitely,
Yeah, because the perception is that a lot of people, when they think of Insane Clown Posse, they're just a bunch of white boys just throwing makeup and then just trying to bite off the culture. But no, these guys really do know their history of hip hop and a real hip hop.
They know the culture. The one thing about Violent J, he knows the culture. Like me and him will talk all night just about hip hop, old stuff, new stuff. Where is it going? Where can we take it? You know what I mean? He knows music for real. You know what I mean? Those guys are really, like I said, those guys are really sharp in what they do. You know what I mean? So their fan base is just as educated. You might think that's just a whole bunch of crazy people, running around, but they know their shit, man.
Yeah, I could dig it. And one thing, because I'm gonna tell you people that I love that album. You got some critics out there about the album, but I think they're fucking full of shit. And I don't really think they really listen to the album all the way through. So for all y'all new listeners listening today, go cop it and listen to it for yourself. Don't listen to these bullshit critics and all these people on Facebook with their fucked up opinions when their knowledge is whack anyways. Listen to me when I'm telling y'all. Go cop it and listen to your fucking self. Promise you won't be disappointed. Guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, think about being creative. It's about people being selective in what they want, and I think the only way you truly can have an opinion towards something unless you go listen to it yourself. You can't have an opinion if you you heard about something. You can't, you
exactly.
can't. You have to listen to stuff. One thing I'm glad about the era that I came up in doing hip hop and still continuing to do. I'm glad I had to experience the ideal of what's popular is not always good, and what's not popular is not bad. You know what I mean? Because I come up in a time where radio, you didn't need radio for people to label you as being good, or people following you label you as good. People's opinions were because of the work that you did and the respect that they had for how good your music was, your artistic integrity was, you know? So it wasn't all this, oh, yeah, I heard it wasn't no good, so I don't care about listening to it. Who does that? You know what I mean? And with Facebook, if you look at social media now, it's really my personal opinion. It's not someone's opinion of a whole bunch of people that have listened to something and saying something is whack. It's just like on Tuesday, I'm mad at my chick, so I don't like your record, so I'm a tweet about it. You feel me? So
right.
It's just one person's opinion. It's not a grand council of people that's saying like, oh, or a whole group of people that's saying like, if you know, when we were young or we're in high school and everybody on campus said, well, that shit's some garbage, and everybody heard it. You know what I mean? Now it's just like someone can say they don't like it and people won't even consider going to check it out. You know. So that's
right.
the wrong mindset to be in anything you want in life. You know, just a little education from a person who's been there. And, you know, people nowadays need to do their own. They need to they need to make their own opinions based upon their knowledge, not knowledge of somebody else, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. No, I can dig it. That's straight facts, and you know what I mean.
Right.
People, please listen. This is your OG tell you, man. Shit.
Yeah. Have your own backbone. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay to say you like something and a whole bunch of people said they didn't like it because they heard that it wasn't no good, but they never heard it. So it's, you know, but you know, this is where we're at. You know, I mean, we all have to educate people too, because a lot of people don't know what things were like when they weren't there. They think it always was like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. A lot of people think it always was like that because it always was like that for them. You know, so.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts, man. That's facts. Because the only way I got to know about hip hop artists back in the days was through your MTV raps when it was popping with Fab Five Freddy and Dre and Rubber took over. You had the Pump It Up show with D Barnes and Sports Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't really
Rap
have
City
a lot
as
of
well.
avenues.
Yeah, Rap City as well. Rap City as well.
Rap City.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much in the box. Mark, I can't forget
the box. Yes, right.
The box. Can't forget about the box.
That's right. The box. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean that's right, you know, and you know, people believe that hip hop was popular like it is today, and it's not even close. I mean, I remember when a lot of people didn't even like hip hop. You know what I mean? When
that's
you
right,
when I was a kid,
it was an outcast form of music. It was an outcast. Mm-hmm. It was an outcast. It was an outcast form of music. Like, you know, it's very rare to see like people say they aspire to be a professional rapper when we were growing up, because it wasn't a market like that. It didn't become a market until probably the late 90s, you know, where it was like, it's very rare for you to, because we bust on the scene in 90, and that was still rare. That was still in embryo stages of hip-hop.
Yeah,
that's only maybe like, real hip-hop is only maybe 5 years in as an industry. You know what I'm saying? When you look at 90, you know what I mean?
And
so when you start
taking, and not to cut you off, but it was also at that time, it was still frowned upon. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's what I mean. When I say embryo, it wasn't accepted at all yet. It hadn't been accepted. It didn't get accepted until the late 90s on mainstream.
Exactly.
You know, so when people say this type of rap or that type of rap, all rap was outcast. It was an outcast. It wasn't even considered real music to people until like, you got to realize the early 90s, mid 90s, we weren't even allowed to attend the Grammys. You know, now there's 2 or 3 different categories of it, but we weren't even allowed to attend it. It wasn't considered even to the Academy as a form of music, till later, And you got to realize we were selling gold and platinum and still wasn't considered a form of music. Now, how crazy is that, y'all? These are things that people don't know, so that they take for granted when they see particularly an artist like me and don't understand what that whole haul was about, that you had to go through in order to actually be an actually established artist, when you didn't have radio, you didn't have things like the social media to boost you up and give you instant gratification. You know what I mean? You had to really hit those clubs. You really had to really do promo tours and do those college tours and stuff like that to make your music be heard, So, you didn't have a choice. You didn't have all these choices that people have today, So it's been an incredible journey, and we continue to do what we have to do to make it make sense, So.
Yeah, and that's facts, and that's also one thing because let's take an artist for example like Spice One, okay?
Okay.
He was on a big label like Jive Records, but
Absolutely.
at the same
Which
time,
wasn't that big at the time, which wasn't that huge at the time. But go ahead.
But at the same time, he was able to go gold. But for all the people that don't know what gold is, that's $500,000 plus.
Yep.
To go gold without radio play 4 fucking times for his first 4 albums.
Right.
That's the difference how hip hop was back then. That you can do that without the help of radio or MTV, and that's one thing that these acts and artists today they're trying to come up with. Never understand. And I'm glad that we're just clearing that up for y'all motherfuckers out there that what behind the ears.
Well, you got it. I mean, one thing you got to realize is that, like I talk, about the things that happen in the nowadays. I don't really think they understand it because no one kind of schools people of the history of this music. They kind of think that it always was mainstream, like you said earlier, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't. And most of the guys who reached great success reached that on an underground platform. They didn't reach it on a commercial radio platform. They reached it on an underground platform, So you're absolutely right. You do need to know that so you can understand, like, you kind of stand on the backs and the shoulders of a lot of great people, who did. And a lot of them have no problem with what you're doing because, think about a rapper like people think like, the OG's got a problem with the young rappers. No, we really don't because we want to support you. We want to support you because it was a whole industry of people that never wanted to support our music, never. A whole industry full of people that never wanted to support any of our music. So, no rapper's ever going to have an issue. Is it a lot of ego come with this industry? And yes, but never be so caught up on what you think is and speaking on it without the proper information. I think a lot of these guys speak out of turn because they don't know what a Pac was. They don't know what a Code 187 of Above the Law was or Eazy-E was. They don't know what those people are. They speak out and they don't know what those guys had to do for them to have an industry. They don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, yep, that's facts. That's straight up facts, man. We be chopping up at Duffel Radio with Code 187, man. You know what I'm saying? But
yes, you are.
Okay, now we got that. Now, the last album you did, when you was with the Bubble Law, the group, rest in peace, KMG. Shout out to Total Chaos.
Yeah, man.
Uncle Sam's Curse was the last one you did for Ruthless. Now, the album after that, you go to Tommy Boy.
Reveal. Time of Reveal. Yep, 2 records on Tommy Boy. Time of Reveal and Legends. Yep.
Yep. Time of Reveal. Now, this is, how people always rank their favorite album from an artist.
Right.
See, this is the thing with Time of Reveal, dude. I'm having a fight between that album and Living Like Hustlers. You know what I'm saying? As my top favorite of the Law record of all time, because I think Time Will Reveal is definitely underrated like a motherfucker. And to me, that is a motherfucking classic album, man, from head to toe,
That's
man.
Right.
I love about every track on there. And the thing about that album is that he brought the Ruthless flavor to that album on Tommy Boy. If people would know, because you have MC Ren on there, you still have cocaine on there. And it still has that Ruthless flavor on it, though. But I'm going to tell you from my experience as being a fan, I love that album, man.
That's right. Well, I mean, it's a great record. I mean, you know, Time to Reveal was that transition record that it was very hard for us to make because of losing Easy, you know, and then having, you know, with the turmoil at Ruthless Records, you know, going on and doing another record kind of like without our big brother there, you know, to really have our back, you know. So it's definitely well thought. It definitely was a fun record to do, and it definitely, you know, all the records that we've all done, you know, with Above the Law have always been calculated, you know what I mean? Like, Time of Reveal was just that transition record that, you know, I mean, it has a lot of great records. Evil to Men do 100 Spokes, you know, a lot of great records on there, you know, Nesia's on there, you know what I mean? There's a lot of great records. But, you know, I think what a lot of our fans felt, you know, with Tommy Boy, it became too corporate. You know, it didn't really seed in the marketplace like we would normally see the record coming off the success of Black Superman and the whole Uncle Sam's Curse record. You know, we were used to having broad success from doing strictly underground records, you know. So, but I enjoyed doing that record. I didn't really like my ride at Tommy Boy because of that. It was too corporate, too much of a boardroom, and I always was able to deal with Easy one-to-one to get things accomplished for Above the Law, you know. And us as collectively, we never, you know, us as collectively as Above the Law, as writers, producers, and artists, we never had to answer so many questions to put a record out than what we had to do with Time of Reveal.
Right. Now, also, the second album on Tommy Boy, Legends. Now,
Legends,
one thing I noticed about that album that I have never seen, or I don't know if it's true or not, did you guys shoot any videos for that album?
Yeah, The Adventures of. Is it YouTube, a video called Adventures of by Above the Law. That's off of Legends. It's one video.
Okay.
Yep, it's a one and done record.
Was Tommy Boy being that cheap or what? What the fuck's up with the budget, man?
No, well, here's the process. Here was the process. That was a leaving the label situation. That was the dream record that we wanted to do. So we did the record we wanted to do, and we directed that video, and actually did everything we wanted to do with it. And be it that was our departure, they kind of just left it alone and didn't want to invest any more into it because we just did everything we wanted to do. You know, I didn't want to have 100,000 board meetings to put a record out. I just put the record out. I delivered the record. That was the record I wanted to do. This is the record I want to drop. This is the single I want to do. This is the video I want to do. If not, go fuck yourself, basically, is what we said. You know. And then we got Windy Day to get a release for us, and we were off the label in 6 months. So, you know, case of Ross and Rock, homie. Cut the check, you know. So
Yep.
So that was it, which is a great album.
A lot of people don't even know who Wendy Day is. Go to your homework, Google Wendy Day, and you'll know who she is. She's helped a lot of artists back in the day. So
that's right, absolutely. My dear friend Wendy Day, she looked out for me, and she met with Tom Silverman, and you know, it was a done deal. No bad blood. It's just that we weren't a fit. We weren't like we didn't have the Coolio or the Naughty by Nature records. We were a hardcore group. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And we just wanted to do the hardcore stuff. We didn't want to do. We never made it because of radio. We never made it. We made it because kids in the streets love us for just being real. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and they bought it. You know what I mean? So when it took too long for them to service our fan base, you know how it is. You know how that era was. You know what I mean? It's either there or it ain't there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's either there or it ain't there, and it's got to be there when the demand is built. So that's why that happened.
That's crazy because Tommy Boy at first started off as like the label to be, but you had issues with Noriega, Capone Noriega, He even said that Tommy Boy was a fucked up situation. So you're not the only artist that came out of that label to have fucked up.
It wasn't a fucked up situation because believe me, we got paid like a motherfucker. It wasn't a fucked up situation for that. It just wasn't a good fit. We were a hardcore group. They only knew how to do pop shit, really. They only knew how to do the Naughty by Nature and the Coolio stuff. They didn't really know how to do. Yeah, they only knew how to do that kind of stuff. The stuff that was strictly radio driven, that kind of thing. You know, club radio driven. We're a hardcore group. You know, so they're on a bad label because hey, they cut a great check. You know, Phour, they cut a great check. You know what I mean?
That's dope. That's dope. Hey, get your money, man. Get your money, man.
And we did 2 records. Man, they cut a great check, and we did 2 records. So it's all good with me. You know, if I can wake up and do a song, I'm good. You know, and get paid for it, hey, that's a double. You know, so.
But you know what, Big Up? I'm telling you, off that album Legends, man, if there was a video that I would have wanted to see a scene for from that album would have been EXO, man. If you guys would have shot a video for that album,
EXO's dope. Us and J.O. Yeah, us and J.O. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me, Cam G, and J.O. That's ridiculous.
That shit to this day hard.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad record. That's a bad record, man. You know, there's a lot of great records on there. Baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of great records on that record, though. No doubt. You're right.
Oh, yeah, that is. No doubt. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with every record you put out. But, okay, let's start it now. Okay, well, leave me Tommy Boy. Now you're going independent. Westworld.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do your first solo executive decisions, and also the same year you guys do Rich Thugs Forever. If I'm not mistaken, that's the title. I got to check because I'm a little bit high.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, Forever Rich Thugs. That's right. Volume 1. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what were your expectations going solo, doing independent? Were there any concerns at that time, or were you like, fuck, I'm finally free, I'm about to do this my way? I mean, actually, no. It was, it was great because after, like I said, after Easy passed and we went on to do the Tommy Boy thing, I just got, I was so used to doing things independent. I wasn't used to doing the corporate thing, so when I started Westworld, it was great for me because it reminded me of being at Ruthless again. It reminded me of, it made me feel like, I could say what the fuck I wanted to say when I did it. I don't need to have to explain myself when I make a record and none of that shit. I could just make the record I wanted to make. So it was great. You know what I'm saying? The bigger picture would have been is since I had to do everything, I had to be the label owner, I had to be the head producer, I had to run a company. That was kind of the hurdle that I had, or I had to put my big boy pants on at that point, versus before, I co-managed above the law and stuff like that. But that was just one aspect, dealing with a label, but actually owning and running a label and doing that and, and keeping things in order and making sure everything was squeaky and tight, that was a real, eye-opener for me. Although I loved it because I was able to land the job. After I did that, I was able to land the vice president job at Death Row, Right.
So, since I already had ran my own label already, it was easy for me to go over there and help run that label, So it was a great experience. Yeah. It was a great experience. I was a label owner. I did really good that first year, but then we collectively, I was enduring so much. When Suge offered me the job, I just took everything over to Death Row at the time, So. Right.
And that's when you were the executive producer on that soundtrack, Too Gangster for Radio, were you not?
Yeah. Yep. I did that record. I did a record on Snoop. I did a record on Tupac. I did Until the End of Time. I did that record, and I did a Dog Pound record over there.
Right.
And I was developing at the time. I was developing Crooked Eye, Lisa Left Eye, and a bunch of other artists at the time over there. So. Yeah.
Hey, man, that 2 Gangsters for Radio was dope as fuck, but I'm going to tell you straight up, and I tell this to everybody, you had the best record off that motherfucker, dude. That's the smash. That's all we were bumping that year when that shit came out, man.
That's right, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I wish the record that we were doing on Death Row came out, Diary of a Drug Dealer. That would have been crazy, but it never happened. So, kind of, that was a really great experience for me to be able to run a label. I was able to, work, do the Pac record, which is like the epitome of my career, being able to produce and help that record, come to light after he passed, my good friend, right, and, my colleague, and to be able to get behind him and help his legacy continue to move on. That was incredible for me, over there for.
Oh, that's dope though, man. So that's what's up, man, because you was a Ruthless. I mean, you went to the Tommy Bush when you went independent. You started working at Death Row.
Yeah.
So man, that's a lot to endure, man. And that must have been awesome to go through those experiences, man. That sucks, man.
Yeah, it helped me. It helped me have the great knowledge that I have today to give to people. To help, it helps me now as a businessman and all my business ventures that I have now as well. So all those things became, what Easy taught me about being an entrepreneur helps me every day in my business. The things I learned from Suge, being an executive helps me as well, So, a lot of great things, man. I've had I've had a great journey, and I'm just trying to continue to do that and put back into my market like they did for me,
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Now, there's an album that came out, Sex, Money, and Music. Now, from the rumors, from what I heard, at that time you was incarcerated. Am I correct?
Yeah, but I done the record before I was incarcerated. It was a record that I done before I was incarcerated. It was originally on Westworld originally.
But
it's
the thing that I heard is they put it out without your permission. Is that?
There you go. That's a real story. It wasn't the people that put it out had no consent on putting it out. It was a producer that felt like he had the rights to put it out when I was away. That would be a double negative with me. The record shouldn't have never came out. Although the single came out, which the single went number one.
Right.
And I put that out right before I had left. Yeah, that was out. But the album was something that someone put out online that wasn't, he didn't get clearance to put that record out, And I wish it wouldn't have never happened because I have a bunch of records on Above the Law now that me and DJ Chaos are trying to put together, get all together and be able to put it out, do a big launch on Above the Law. Once we finish, we're trying to work out a book situation for us. And we wanted to put out all those records with that, And this was before KMG had passed. We were upset because we wanted to put all these records in this little anniversary package that we had, the records that we never had put out, And that kind of ruined it for us because he went to the state and I went to the feds. And when we got home, we wanted to at least have that record and then the new record that we were working on when I got home. So, fortunately, in the process, that record came out, KMG passes, and then everything gets tied up, So, that's what happened. It's funny because Sex, Money, and Music was a record that we done when we left Death Row, which would have been Diary of a Drug Dealer. That was the record that we were supposed to do on Death Row, Which was at the time I took, like when I was vice president there, I took all of us over to Death Row. But when Death Row couldn't work it out the way I needed to work out, I resigned as the vice president, and I didn't take anything. We just left, and then we went right in the studio and did Sex, Money, Music back on Westworld because I still had Westworld active. I just ended up not doing it actively when I was at Death Row. You understand? So the actual that was supposed to be the Death Row album, but since we did never record anything, but I think we recorded like 4 songs on Death Row or something, and we never delivered them, and then we just we just went in and just started finishing the Sex, Money, and Music album, and then I got incarcerated, and then all this craziness went on, so
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but that record was never supposed to come out. That record was never supposed to come out. So
that album, that CD, it is very hard to find, right? And I've seen it on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling it for like at least over $150 and all this shit. I'm like, these niggas is now a rarity now.
And it's funny, that's a record that I paid for out of my own pocket for. I paid for that record out of my own pocket.
What?
No label. Me.
That is crazy, man.
Even the fool that leaked it out and tried to make money off it while I was gone, I paid him to do the work. So it wasn't like he was one of them unpaid producers. He got paid,
Damn,
so you got friends, you got friends of all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, buddy, yes, sir.
But yeah, that's
crazy,
a good one.
Man.
You just brought up some family business. That's inside business. But yeah, now you know. But yeah.
That is crazy, man. That's dope. That's crazy as fuck, man. Nah, that's crazy. Now, besides the Black Godfather album, and the movie, do you have anything else cooking up in store?
Yeah, actually, I have. I'm working on this kid Cali Bourne's record. It's coming out. The rebirth of hip hop. That's coming out later this year. I'm working on a record. Right now, me and Cocaine is working on a record. I'm working on his album right now. And then me and him are working on our album together. The Architects of G-Funk. ALGF record is coming. We're probably like 60% done with that record, And I mean, hey, I got Rock Boy and Honey, my business popping, my internet magazine network. So that's going down. You're gonna see a big network. I'm gonna bring Rock Boy TV to y'all, and then Rock Boy Radio is coming too. So Rock Boy Honey's radio, all that's coming. I'm gonna have all this. They call me Hutch Hefner, so
yeah, buddy.
You know what I mean? So
hey, man,
coming,
you gotta get me in trouble though, man, because I be checking that shit out, man.
No, don't get in trouble. 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 Just keep going to the left. Don't get in trouble. Just keep going to the left.
No. I can't help it. I can't help it, dude. I'm not. Hey, look,
you like it. It's hump day today. It's hump day today. Wait till you see what the model is today is. So
I keep telling people, look. Yeah, I'm with somebody, but look, I'm not dead. You know what I'm saying? I still got eyes that can
no doubt. You can look. I mean, you can look, and you can always look. You can always look. That's all it's for. But yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great company. It's a great company that and I'm doing some shows. I'm gonna start doing some shows after April. Once the film is done, and I'm DJing, of course. So just, everybody just follow me, man. That's really it so far, so.
I don't want to call her, and I know he's been wanting to ask you a question, so let's just get to the caller. 503-501, you're on Die4 Radio with Man 4, code 187. Who's this?
It's Chris from Oregon.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much, man.
You got a question for Big Hutch?
What's up, Hutch? I got a couple of questions for you, so I'll try to make them kind of short. After 96, how come you didn't work with Frost anymore?
When I left Ruthless, I just didn't, I have worked with him on some underground stuff, but I didn't work with him because I think once we did, because we did City of Angels together, but he didn't work on Legends with us. I'm not sure. I can't even remember why we didn't work with Frost anymore because he's one of my dear friends in the music business. So, and we talk all the time, basically, as much as we can when we see each other. But, but I mean, there really was no reason. I mean, far as just, the timing wasn't right, at the time. So, yeah. The last record we did together was City of Angels, yeah. But
right.
Sure, but I've done records with him, after
wasn't
that
it?
as well. Yeah, that's on a Crow, too. Yeah, City of Angels, too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the soundtrack in my drawer right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. I got like two more questions. Would you want to work with Marty Thomas again on a music video or something like that?
Oh, definitely. That's my guy. Yeah. Yeah, he did VSOP and Black Superman. Oh yeah, man. That's an incredible director, man. That guy is incredible, man. One of my it's funny because I'm doing a film now, and a lot of stuff that I learned about film is through Marty. Marty really set me down and walked me through the way to do films the right way. And he always gave me great advice after the fact and everything. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Let me try to phrase this. Okay, so
we're getting high before you get on the airways, buddy.
It's like,
one thing I've always wondered, who were the South Central Hump connection? Because I look in the Black Mafia booklet and it says additional vocals by the South Central Works connection. Like who were those guys?
Oh, that's just a group of people that, like, it's really all of, like, the people who came in and added to stuff. Like, it's really like us saying, like, we don't want to name a whole bunch of names. Like, say, for instance, if Dr. Dre or Law or me and all of us collectively did something together, we don't want to put all those names in it. You know what I mean? So we just said, this is who we are collectively. It's the same people at Ruthless, basically. There's no extra secret people. It's just, instead of us putting all these different names for backgrounds, we just decided to label it like that,
Yeah, that's okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Chris, are you starting right now, my friend?
Because back then you didn't have a lot of space to be. Back then you didn't have a lot of space to be putting a whole bunch of names on stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a cool question. No, that's great. Yeah, but that's what we done.
No, shout out, my dude. I know this is my dude, Chris, man. Hey, man. Shout out to you for checking on Die4 Radio, man. I'm glad you're checking it in, man, and supporting my dude Hutch.
No problem, man. Yeah,
and he knows his history, so that's big.
This is the thing. When it comes to West Coast and especially all that Ruthless era stuff, this guy's on Q and his P. So he definitely won, you know.
Okay, well, good looking, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
No problem, Hutch. No problem.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks again, Chris. Just keep rocking with us, man. I just got another question or two for Hutch, and then we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna continue. We're gonna jam a bunch of the long music you probably ain't heard, or Hutch music. Keep rocking with us, man. Stay online. Remember?
Yeah, because I got to get out of here. I got to get back to work. So.
Yep. All right, then, my G. Well, what was I going to say? Fuck, man. Now I lost what I was going to say. Where can they follow you on social media and shit, man?
Oh, you can always follow me on everything is Code 187. On Twitter, it's The Real Code 187. On Instagram, it's The Real Code 187. And that's The Real, THECOLD 187UM. You know, so.
Yeah, there's only one.
Everything.
So,
yeah, exactly.
That's everything. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and all that, right?
Yeah, that's it. And just pull up The Real Code 187. THEREALCOLD 187UM. At all those.
And do you want to give the website again where they can go buy the physical copies of your albums and music and stuff?
It's www.code187.com and register on there, and you can get merchandise, free music, all of that. You know what I mean? Just come on, log in, and also log into rockboyhoneys.com too as well. If you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a Rock Boy Honey for sure. Yes, sir.
You know, but that's
sir.
everything, man.
Well,
that's everywhere you find me, man. 24/7, man. You know.
I didn't hang out with you, bud. Hutch, I didn't hang out with you because all the work you've been doing with my partner and I, all the time I still haven't had a chance to have one-on-one with you, but I'm telling you.
I'm going to get you in trouble, man. I'm going to get you in trouble. You might not go home hanging out with me, man.
Hey, man. I don't give a fuck. Hey, let me keep in the Lord. It's all good, homie, but we chilling, man. We're going to chill one day, my D, and it's probably going to be one night for me.
We're going to do a big party when the film wraps up. And you definitely got to come hang, man, and make it make sense.
Oh yeah, man, shit, yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to get Die to remember shit. So I'm just gonna go directly to you when that movie coming out. Hey man, remember you said you had to come? I'm gonna ask you, Hutch. I'm gonna hit you, hey man. I want my wristbands with the axes and all that shit.
Oh no,
you
good for. You good for. You good. You in the clique, so you good. You in the circle. You're in the super circle, as we say around here. So you good. Yeah, we get. I just hit you up like you hit me up, and I'd be like, hey, it's going down tonight. You know, so it's gonna be private, so I'm gonna let you know when it go down. So.
That's sir, and I'll be there for sure. So I mean, yeah.
All right, for sure, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it.
Because I'm already to the point where I'm able to go and socialize. After all this car wreck and injury and shit, I
remember last time you was out of commission.
Yeah,
I remember last year you was out of commission.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to mingle and, get it on, because we also got this brand I got to, out there and promote and stuff, Die4 and everything.
Well, congratulations,
and we're associated with you and all that shit, so,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, congratulations on the radio show, too, man. I'm hearing good things. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, whenever you want, just say one day you just want to be like, I'm gonna call up Mad Phour and be like, hey, I want to rant about shit I don't like about this artist or just about what's going on in the music business, or if you want to promote a new record, just hit me up, man. You already know this is your home. This is automatically your home.
All right, for sure.
Know at Die4.
All right, for sure. For sure, man.
So,
appreciate it.
I want to say thank you for making the time, fucking with me tonight. I appreciate this shit. I finally got the one-on-one I wanted with you. Hopefully we'll get more one-on-one Q&As with you and shit, so enjoy your rest of the night.
I will be back to talk about the movie. I will be back to talk about more of the movie when the movie's done. I'll be back on.
And about Rock Boy Honeys, too. We're going to be talking about Rock Boy Honeys, too. So, but,
all right, for sure.
Can I get a Die4 radio drop before you leave?
Oh, you can. You ready?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yo, this is Cool 187, the Black Godfather. You chilling on Die4 Radio with my man, my partner, my real rider, Mad Phour.
Good. That's so. Hey, man, thanks again, brother. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I said, you got a home here, and I appreciate the shit. So I want you to enjoy your rest of your night, my G. And
all right, for sure, man.
Keep staying fly, because you're always one of the flyest to this day. Keep staying fly, man.
And I will. That's what I know how to do best, man. Me. All right, man. I want to say rest in peace to my man KMG, and I'm out of here, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Peace.
Well.
There it is, folks. My G. Big homie, Code 187, Big Hutch, you know what I'm saying, above the law. Go cop that Black Godfather, you know what I'm saying, www.code187.com. So go get that shit, man, you know what I mean? It's going down. We're gonna continue this shit, you know what I mean? We got some music to play. I'm gonna get back with the callers, and I got some shit to rant about in about 10 minutes. We're gonna